वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्गपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ओम्। Arjuna understands that somewhere there is a provision for renunciation of action. And Arjuna wants this. And by action we mean renunciation of the duties, the stipulated duties. Each person has certain duties. And duties of a person then which are scripturally recognized. Have a significance. Because that's not what person has simply thought it is necessary for him and starts doing it. But these are duties. According to the person's position, station in life, whether he is a grihastha or a sannyasi, brahmachari or a vanaprastha, certain duties are assigned to the person. That this is what one must do in that particular station of life. But Arjuna also has a duty to perform. Not every time that we will find that the duties that we have to do is something very pleasant and suitable to our liking. Sometimes you will discover, you will find that there are certain duties which are difficult, rather unpleasant, but they are your duties, you need to do them. And I don't have to provide you with examples of doing things. You have to do them, no matter how unpleasant they are. But for a person who wants to eat only nice things, something that pleases him, now is going to risk his health Similarly, now Arjuna feels that though this is a duty, his duty as a warrior, as somebody who should be protecting the society, people, and protecting the people simply does not mean protecting their economic and social welfare. Protection also covers providing them the right ideals to live. Because when people have the right ideals, right vision to conduct themselves, their social welfare, their economic security, economic welfare, all these things will naturally be protected. Provided the person should have the right vision. And therefore, in order to have a society, which means to have a person who is the basic molecule of the society, he should have a right value system to conduct himself, to live. Because a lot of times you will have to make decisions, and not necessarily your decisions may lead to success of an endeavor. But one thing for sure is, though, because the success of an endeavor is dependent on several factors. Several factors, and those several variables are not under your control all of the time. A mature person understands this, and then also understands that when he has to make those decisions, then let those decisions arise from a seat, from a psychology which is not rooted only with the ideals of ego worship and chasing the sensuous satisfaction. Because both of these are dangerous. One is too fragile, and the other one, where a person does everything only to please the ego, to glorify himself, to prove how great, how big, how intelligent, how beautiful, how spiritual he is. When decisions arise from this psychology, it will crystallize the ego, the identification with the body, mind, equipment. For the person himself, it is a great loss. Because you had an opportunity of performing the karma, following those decisions that you are making, of performing that karma and discovering purification of the heart. Instead of that, you have used the same karma only to pollute it more. Stronger the ego, venomous is the personality. Stronger the ego, stronger are the vibes of grief in that person. The sadness finds its roots even deeper into his deep recesses. Therefore, when karma is there, certain decisions have to be made. Let those decisions not be done only for indriya tarpana, meaning only for the satisfying a sensory or a sensual craving. Let that karma not be performed for worshipping, glorifying the ego. But you have to discover a reason why the karma is done. When a person is able to do the karma with the right value system, you're doing it because this is what is required to be done. You're not doing it just because it glorifies the ego or it satisfies the senses, but you are doing it just because it is something appropriate to do as your duty. And therefore, karma is an important thing in a person's life. But not necessarily this karma, this action, this duty is going to be very pleasant. And when it is not pleasant, you want to change it, exchange it with something else, replace it with another one. And where, in case of Arjuna, where there is no escape from this karma, from this duty now, because he had understood the value of performing this duty, of arriving at the battlefield and protecting a value system, a system of ideals for himself, for the world. And therefore, when he comes over here, he has no other option but to now fight the war. And Arjuna doesn't want to do it, though it is his duty. So Arjuna wants to escape. He wants to give up karma. He wants to give that up because it is unpleasant. If it was not Bhishma and Drona that he had to fight, Arjuna would have had happily fought the war. Arjuna was never afraid of fighting. Arjuna was never afraid of facing dangers. The threat of failure could never dampen Arjuna's spirit. In fact, with every threat that came, Arjuna rose stronger and stronger. His determination became even more strong. Over here too, Arjuna had earlier said that, let me see who are those people who want to fight this war. Kair maya saha yodhavyam asmin radasamudyame. Let me see who are those people who want to fight against me or with me. Let me see them. Kair maya saha yodhavyam. But when he comes, he has now found that the duty that he has chosen and he has got, and his destiny has brought him to perform this duty, is not an ordinary duty, but it is extremely unpleasant. Because this duty means that he will be losing people that he loves and respects. So Arjuna wants to escape this duty. And over here, therefore for Arjuna, the question of sannyasa, karma sannyasa, is going to come again and again, again and again, again and again. So Arjuna somewhere has understood that there is a provision for a person to give up all these duties, all this karma. And It is the one who is in pursuit of moksha and moksha alone. In case of people like Arjuna, he is of course in the pursuit of moksha, but at the same time, he also recognizes there are other pursuits which are important to him. Just as most of the people over here in society, we find that they say, yes, we know moksha is my purushartha, moksha though is my ultimate goal, yet there are other things for me to achieve on the way. And unless and until I have done that, I cannot give myself completely only to Vedanta. So I will walk this path slowly and cautiously. A person admits, and it is good to admit that. So a person who is motivated, inspired only by moksha as his purpose of living, for such a person, there is renunciation of the action. And Arjuna says, well, sir, that is true. I too am seeking moksha, am I not? All of us are. Who is not? Consciously or unconsciously, those who are seeking it consciously are seekers. But those who are seeking, but they do not know that they are seeking moksha, are also seekers, still sleeping in the shell, in the egg, and one day that shell will break and even this seeker will awake. But they are also seeking. Who doesn't want to end the suffering altogether? Show me one person who wants to perpetuate suffering for himself. And therefore, all are seeking that. Yet, it is only for few that the entire range of karma can be given up. All the duties can be given up. And that is a sannyasi who is now only on the path of knowledge, where moksha is the only pursuit. Then seeking the knowledge is the only thing. Or when the knowledge is sought, now to allow that knowledge to settle, to be firmly established in the knowledge is the only thing. And that is for which karma is not required. For which karma is not required. And therefore, sannyasa is possible only in those cases where there is, the pursuit is only of knowledge for moksha. Or where the knowledge has taken place. Now, in order to protect that knowledge from becoming dimmer or from becoming clouded is the only thing that the person needs to do. Then for him, there is no need to do any karma. Nitya karma, naimittika karma, none of these duties, etc. He is bound by any of them. He is free, and therefore for such a person there is renunciation of karma. Arjuna says, I too am a seeker, and I am seeking liberation, and therefore for me is it not justified that I take to karma sannyasa, give this karma up and run into the mountain and live my life as a mendicant? And Shri Krishna says, no, Arjuna, this is not going to be possible for you. For you, karma is the only way to perform your duty. Because though you are seeking moksha, yet there is one more condition to be fulfilled, and that is you should be seeking nothing else but only moksha. Not even in your dream, any other desire for money, for fame, for wealth, for following, for pleasures, for progeny, should ever bewitch you, allure you. Not even in dream should this happen. That one is allured by the ideas of Putra, Vitta and Loka. Then Arjuna, now sannyasa is possible. That your every moment of life is guided, is motivated only by this pursuit. You are inspired, fired. There is fire only of pursuit for knowledge, which is in turn is the pursuit for moksha. Only if this has happened, you can take to sannyasa. And therefore now Arjuna has been told that there are these two paths. One is the path of karma, and the other is the path of renunciation. The path of renunciation is the path of knowledge. So therefore, now you have the path of karma and the path of knowledge. Krishna Bhagavan says that the path of karma is meant for the yogi, and the path of knowledge is meant for a renunciate, for a sannyasi, for a sankhya. That word sankhya, translate it as Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. Sankhya's means Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. That is Sankhya. But Arjuna says, is not it true that I have this pursuit for knowledge, for moksha now? And therefore, please give me a green signal. I need that endorsement from you and approval from you. Very often people seek approvals. Sometimes this young man come to us asking, should we take to sannyas or should we become a grihastha? If there is an option for you, please become a grihastha. Take to the house, life of a householder only. If you feel that there is a choice, when you feel that there is no choice but to be a sannyasi. Now this is not a matter of choice. It is something like the fish taking to the water. So now Bhagavan says that look here, sannyasa will not become fruitful in case if one is not prepared for sannyas. Sannyasa means there are these two meanings. Are there the pursuit for knowledge, or every moment spent only in guarding the knowledge? Every moment is spent only in bringing clarity to the knowledge. Jnana nishtha. There are only two things in life of sannyas. But if a person is not prepared, Sannyas of an unprepared person will not become fruitful. It will become a torture. Because somewhere or the other, the person was still anchoring some desires for pleasures, for appreciation, for approval, for fame, for following, for some, put wealth, so on and so forth. If this is there, then that sannyas will become a torture. If one is not prepared for it, but rather your life has provided you this opportunity of doing the karma. And when you do the karma with the right attitude, from the right seat, now that very karma will become the agent to prepare you for karma sannyas. That very karma will become an agent to as a catalyst to bring sannyas in life. That's why, having spent a life of a karmi is not the only thing. Just doing a lot of hard work is not called as karma yogi. Doing the duties to the best possible capacity, his best possible capacity, with an attitude of devotion, is what makes the karmi as karma yogi. That is what turns him into a yogi. And therefore, for the yogi, there is the path of action. For the jnani, for the sankhya, there is the path of renunciation. These are the two paths. But you can go to the path of renunciation only if you have walked the path of karma. And Arjuna says, how can renunciation of karma come through karma? How can renunciation of karma come through karma? Because simply giving up of karma is going to be renunciation of karma. How can performing the karma become the agent to bring about this change? And so Bhagavan Shri Krishna answers furthermore in the 4th verse. He says, Na karmana manarambha naishkarmyam purushoshnute nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. It is not only naishkarmya means Brahma is nishkarma. Tasya bhavaha naishkarmyam. Bhagavan Bhashyakara says that naishkarmya means jnana yogena nishtha. It is the nishtha, it is the state of existence only in the abidance of knowledge. In abidance, abiding in knowledge. Jnana yogena nishtha, which means where you have discovered that all the movement, all the kriya, all the action and activity is only in the prakriti. It is not there in this Atma. It is there only in the prakriti. I am untouched by it. So what have you discovered about yourself is Nishkriya Atma Swarup. There is no movement. There is no movement. Nishkriya Atma Swarupena eva avasthanam. And thus, when one discovers himself to be free from any action, whatever that action may be, is in the field of drishyam. And that is what he is going to say further. The body, the mind, the senses, these are the things which are in a constant movement. The body is moving, whether you want or not. Your chest will heave up and down. Whether you want or not, your pupils will dilate. Whether you want or not, your hands and legs will move. Not allowing them to move is also a form of movement. Understand this. Is also an action because there is an effort involved. Not allowing them to move. There is an effort. You're going to find some sadhu who has kept his hand straight up for last 30 years, and it is all atrophied. And the hand is all dried up, it's only bone and a dry skin around it, and it looks horrible. But why did you have to raise the hand? Did your teacher in the school punish you so much that keep your hands up, raise? And this fellow, the teacher forgot to tell, now bring it down, do your homework next time and come back. So since then, this fellow has kept his hand up, it didn't come down. It's all dried up. There is an effort involved to keep it there. So the body, the pranas, the mind, everything is in a constant process, constant movement, flux. Even the idea of wanting to stop it is also yet another action. Therefore, this Brahma Bhava, the attainment of firm abidance in Brahman, is not what one will get if one does not begin the karma at all. So by refusing to do the karma, he thinks that by refusing to do the karma at all, to begin it, now there is no karma, and that's why it means it will be naishkarmyam. It will be renunciation of karma. And Sri Krishna says you cannot renounce it if you don't have it. Without having begun the karma, you cannot renounce it. Na karmanam anarambhat. Arambha means the beginning, to begin. If you haven't begun performing your duty, you cannot even give it up. Naishkarmyam purushaha na ashnute, that na in the beginning, bring it down. Karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushaha na ashnute, the person does not gain the Brahma Bhava, the abidance in Brahman. Or if you have begun, simply stop doing. That is renunciation. Just don't do anything. Why? Because I am a spiritual person. I am not supposed to. Nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. And just by giving up also does not mean that it will lead to the fruitful sannyas. Siddhim, accomplishment, an accomplished sannyas. It will be a sannyas not for accomplishment or of accomplishment, but it will be a sannyas. The life will be of full of sadness, of feeling that you have missed the bus, missed the opportunity. And therefore, Bhashakar Bhagavan says, Karmarambhasya hi naishkarmya upayatvat nahi upayam antarena upeya prapti hi asti. Karma yoga upayatvam cha naishkarmya lakshanasya jnana yogasya shrutau cha iha pratipadanat. So now, what is that has been what is the verdict of Shri Krishna in case of this karma and renunciation of karma? Here Bhashyakar Bhagavan says that karma yoga is the upaya. Karma yoga is the upaya. And naishkarmya siddhi is, naishkarmyam is the Brahma Bhava. Brahma sthiti is the upeya. So upaya and upeya, the means and the end. Without the means, the end cannot be accomplished. Without the karma yoga, naishkarmyam cannot be accomplished. Without the karma yoga, the abidance in Brahman cannot be accomplished. And therefore, karma yoga upayatvam cha naishkarmya lakshanasya jnana yogasya shrutau cha iha pratipadanat. And therefore, this is what is said all over the Upanishads and in Bhagavad Gita. So you can, if you are carrying the book of Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam with you, find this line, underline it, and keep it ready, because a lot of people are going to say that Shankaracharya is against karma. No, sir, nobody is against karma. Karma is something that has been given by the Vedas. Why should he be against it? Is Shankaracharya just creating generations of lazy people, or people who want to escape an active life of contribution? Or a person, he wants to simply have people who are idle, unemployed, and unemployable? Is that the reason why the whole thing, jnana yoga and renunciation of karma, is being spoken? No. The Veda is itself giving you the karma as well as renunciation of karma. Both of these things are told to you. You have to inhale, and only then you can exhale. Karma yogopayatvam cha naishkarmya lakshanasya jnana yogasya shrutau cha iha pratipadanat. Keep this line underlined, because those who say, no, sir, the Upanishads are against the path of karma. No, they are not. Because karma yoga is upaya. Jnana yoga is upeya. Karma yoga is the means. Jnana yoga is the end. Karma yoga is the means. Performance of karma is the means. And renunciation of karma is its fruit end. Only when you have inhaled can you exhale. You can give up only when you have received, when you have taken. त्याग का अधिकारी तो वही है कि जिसने परिग्रह किया है. जिसने परिग्रह न किया हो वो क्या त्याग करे. इसीलिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं, कर्मणाम अनारंभा नैष्कर्म्यम पुरुषः न अश्नुते. अगर कर्म का तुमने स्वीकार ही नहीं किया, if you have not accepted the life, righteous life of doing your duty, how can you even give it up? How can you even give it up? And somebody says, well, I have accepted, but now I am tired, I want to give it up. No, sir, you can't just simply give it up just like that. Take little rest, and tomorrow morning you wake up again fresh. Let's put our shoulders to the boulder and let's push it. Push this rock up mountain, even if it has to be. No matter how difficult one's duties in life are, no one's life is easy. Take that in writing. No one's life is easy. You can watch from distance and say that somebody else is having an easy life. Wear his shoes and you will discover his difficulties. Because a person who wears the shoes will only know where it pinches. Tukaram Maharaj says that Jave Tyacha Vamsha Tevha Kare. Wear his shoes, wear his hat, and then you will know. That other people are having a comfortable and easy life is something that is said by someone who is half-baked, which means he does not have the appreciation of or even empathy for others. They are having easy life. Well, they have all the wealth, where do they have to do? And do you know, to sit over there in those comforts, they have to pay the price of boredom, loneliness, insecurity. Rejection, criticism. That is the price that they have to pay for that. And therefore, don't just say that just because somebody is rich, it means it's easy life. No, sir, no one's life is easy. Each one is burdened with his own problems. And therefore, if you are feeling tired, does not matter. Rest for a minute, rest for a while. Listen to the Leelas of Shri Krishna and Shri Ram. Let that become your respite. The other day, somebody came to me saying that, well, there are so many pravachankaras. There are so many people who give discourses and lectures on Indian scriptures, this Puranas, Bhagavatam and Mahabharata. People come and sit and fondly listen to them. And then they go back and they forget everything. So for them, he says that for them it is just a means of amusement. I said, what's wrong? If a person is tired carrying the burden of his life, and if he finds little respite, feels little rested, feels good, listening to the stories of Ram, Krishna, Arjun, all these great people. What's wrong? Why do you have to be so critical about it? Just because somebody likes something that maybe doesn't entertain you? Do you don't watch some dances and songs every evening? Then why can't you for some time, 1 hour a day, or maybe once in a week or twice a week or thrice a week, listen to something like the Bhagavatam, Shiva Puranam? Why not? Mahabharata, why not? At least they will provide you a direction along with those stories of kings and queens. It will definitely shape your psychology. Slowly, it's a slow process. Don't ask, people have not changed after 1 hour. Nobody changes after 1 hour. And if there are such radical changes, those changes would be so fragile. They will disappear as soon as they have taken place. Therefore, don't underestimate. Let that become our respite. Oh, that is an escape. What do you do otherwise when you're watching this, the talk shows and the laughter shows? What do you do? It's not that your escape. You pay price for that. What's wrong? I mean, people are really going crazy, topsy-turvy, just because it comes from someone, a monk or a priest or, somebody who seems to be religious. No, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to take it. And that is called prejudice. Just because it becomes spiritual, I don't want to hear it. It is prejudice. Why not? Why not? Let that become rest, and let your rest be here in listening to Rama and in Mahabharata. And I'm telling you that this is not only justified, that you find little respite in the stories of great people who were yogis and who were great karmis and devotees. The entire setting of Puranas is like this. Suta, the storyteller, comes. Sage Suta is a storyteller. He comes, and the rishis like the Shaunaka, etc., are engaged in doing karma morning till from dusk to dawn. And they are sweating, they are tired. Now they want a little respite from that karma and the burden of karma. And they listen to the Puranas. They question Suta. Tell us the beautiful Leelas of Shri Krishna. Tell us how Shiva should be worshipped. Tell us what is the rahasyam, what is the secret of worshipping Devi. They are going to ask questions like this. They're going to ask questions like, in this Kali Yuga, in this dark age where people are blinded only by ambition, but of wealth, of sensual pleasures, filled with treachery, deceit, anger, jealousy. And is not that true? People over here, why don't we observe how lonely people are, how jealous people are? And do these things don't have a place in our heart? When this is there, are you not tired carrying the burden of all these? And then for a moment, you listen to the beautiful story of Krishna. You listen to the narration of how Shiva should be worshipped. You listen to the narration of those holy shrines which one should visit and what one should do in those places. Feel relieved. You will be fresh for the next day. And not only that you will be fresh, but you will be also carrying the seed to hold a vision for life. So I'm saying that's perfectly fine. Karma yogopayatvam cha naishkarmya lakshanasya, and therefore jnana yogasya shrutau cha iha pratipadanat. And this fact that karma yoga is the upaya, is the means for karma sannyasa, has been shown all over the Shruti, all over the Upanishads, Vedas, and Iha matlab in Bhagavad Gita too. This is what is the content. Now those who have to say, well, Shankaracharya is only Pakshadhar, is partial only to Jnana Yoga or for renunciation, and has some sort of an animosity towards the path of karma. He is somebody who's saying that karma yoga and jnana yoga are being shown. These are the two pratipatya vishayas. These are the two subjects of propagation for Veda. Shrutau cha iha pratipadanat. No, I do not know how these people have read and understood Shankaracharya to draw this kind of comments. And even those people who have to say, no, there is no jnana yoga, there is no karma sannyasa. In fact, it has been condemned. And what is being shown by Bhagavad Gita is only the karma yoga. Sir, Karma yoga is also shown, jnana yoga is also shown. Karma yoga comes to you as the upaya, jnana yoga comes to you as the upeya. Upaya means the approach. Upeya means that what is approached. The path and the destination both have to be known to you. Just knowing the destination will not suffice. Maybe just knowing the path may suffice, because if you follow the path, you will arrive at the destination. And therefore, Shri Krishna says, yes, it is required that a person without karma yoga in life cannot achieve Brahma Sayujyam. He cannot attain oneness with God. And therefore, now this is karma yoga and jnana yoga. Both are essential and important. Now he explains further why karma cannot be given up by a person. No, but then if I don't start, I have renounced karma. So there is no karma. Or if I have started, I simply stop doing it, which means there is no karma. This is not called as giving up of karma, sir. He makes it clear in the next shloka, number 5. Nahi kaschat kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karyate yavashat karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi nahi kaschat kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karyate yavashat karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Okay. Na kaschat. There is no person without an exception. There is no person. I mean, that exception is going to be Jnani, but that Jnani has discovered itself to be Brahman, not an individual. Nahi kaschat. There is no person. Kadachidapi. Even by mistake. Kadachidapi. Akarmakrit tishtati. Stays without action. No, he can't. He doesn't. Akarmakrit, without doing any action. Action is being performed by any person all the time. Why? Karyate hi avashak karma sarvaha prakriti jair guraihi. Now, how to rearrange this? Sarvaha, all, avashaha, without any control. How you cannot say today I have decided to do, tomorrow I have decided not. No. Avashaha, all the time he will be doing karma. He will be forced to do the karma. Avashaha, karma karyate, will be doing karma. How? Through the gunas of the prakriti. Through the gunas born of prakriti. Okay, what do you mean by that? Look at it. Whether it is the body, whether it is the pranas, whether it is the mind, whether it is the indriyas, whether it is the buddhi, or whether it is the ahankara, all these things are nothing but modifications of the gunas of prakriti. This body is modification of the tamo guna. The tamo guna has undergone this, has undergone what do they call the panchikaranam, and has become this physical body. The rajoguna has become the pranas, and the karmendriyas. The sattva guna has become the mind, buddhi, and the jnanendriyas. So antakaranam, the fourfold antakaranam, the jnanendriyas. Jnanendriyas means organs of knowledge. This is what is the sattva, modification of sattva guna. So sattva, raja, and tama. This is what has become this body, mind, and intellect. And when I am saying modifications of sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, it does not just mean that, there is only rajoguna, there is exclusive. The other two gunas are also there, but predominance will be that of sattva. But what happens is the rajoguna and tamoguna also are there, and they will keep on going up and down. So there is a movement of the body will sometimes be very, very fit. Sometimes it will be dull. The pranas will be sometimes very, very alert. And sometimes there will be no zero energy. And what to talk about the indriyas and the mind. You know that sometimes your mind is so alert, so bright, so brilliant, that you are easily able to navigate through problems and look for solutions. And sometimes that this mind is so dulled by the tamas or full of anxiety, which is rajoguna, that it is not able to see the solution, the way out of a problem. So all this body mind equipment is the basic constituents are these gunas, and these gunas keep going up and down, and this is the movement is there. And therefore, he who is identified with the body, mind, intellect is bound to find that he is also doing those actions. So when the body walks, you are going to say, I walk. When the eyes illumine the pot and cloth and things like that, you say, I illumine, I see, I know. So it is, where is the movement happening? Though it is happening in the body mind, which is drishya padartha, which is the seen object, yet it is experienced as the movement in the seer. And therefore, as long as the person is going to be ignorant, till then he is going to discover himself in a state of flux, constantly doing, the activity is constantly happening. And when the activity is happening now, whether to do or not to do is not the choice. To do the right or to do the wrong is the choice. And therefore, he says, nahi kashchit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. Akarmakrit natishtati kopi. Karyate hi avashak karmaha. Sarvah prakritijayi gunaihi. Jatu means kadachidapi. And therefore, he who has discovered his own being as Brahman now is free from action, because he has found that he is untouched by the Prakriti and the gunas of Prakriti. Therefore, as long as one is ruled by ignorance, yes, karma is going to be your fate. And when the karma is your fate, why not do the right action with the right attitude and create for yourself an edifice from where now you can take the flight into the Naishkarmya Brahma. Let us look at it, more of it, when we meet next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.